make sure that she's safe and sound, and that she gets from what her needs are for safety and security of touring buildings, where we need to go, homes. Basically, I'm my everyday man, 24/7, to make sure that she feels comfortable. I mean, as far as touring is concerned, basically what I do, I have a staff that works under me. I have a advanced guy, John Kiwagan, that you already probably met already, and he takes care of my venue stuff for me because we have so much to cover when we're on the road. And so just along the venue alone, we have like 3 guys taking care of our stuff at the venue. And Maurice Eldridge is my partner that works with me. He helps me out, and we do a lot of things together. So, and my oldest is well-being, make sure she's cool and she's happy. Basically, there's a lot of problems. Like I said, you have everyday problems. When we come into hotels and when we go into, we have people, fans and stuff that try to come up, try to get to the room that want to meet her. It depends upon how you can lock your hotel room down, especially when we're here in Mexico right now. Security, is a little bit on a higher alert down here, more of so. But we make sure she's safe and sound every building she goes into. I've been doing it for 11 years. If I didn't like it, I would not be sitting here talking to you. Yeah, the fans in Europe are more aggressive than the American fans are in the United States. I don't know if you saw that already while you were here, how it is that we have kids that try to, scale walls to get into your rooms if somewhere to do it. People try to sneak in the back of hotels. People jump on the vans trying to get to her just to get a glimpse of her or a picture of her, Yeah, it's gonna be, it's been a long run. We worked together, with the guys for 4 years now. I mean, there's a lot of staff that's come and go, and some people have been with us. And it's gonna be, it's gonna be sad, but we still keep in contact with everybody. We have phones, emails, pages and stuff like that. And, it's how it is. We gotta do what we gotta do. And I want to say thank you to her for the wonderful 4 years of being with her, with you, excuse me. And I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to work with you. And I love you like a little sister. And if anything you need, you let me know. You got my phone. All right, bye.
Hi, my name is Johnny Wright. I'm the co-manager of Britney Spears. I've been with Britney for about 5 years. First time I met Britney was during an NSYNC concert, and Jive Records and Larry, who I had known for a long period of time, had asked me if it was okay for Britney to open up for NSYNC. Really didn't know anything about her. She came in, she was this beautiful girl, so the vibe was really friendly. She was being pulled in so many different directions. I really didn't have a chance to speak to her for the first day. I was a little nervous for her though, because normally when a female artist goes on stage with a guy group, the female audience doesn't kind of warm to them too quickly. So I watched her from the sidelines, and she went into her first song, and it was a little lukewarm, but by the time she had finished her 20-minute set, she had that audience in the palm of her hand. And I knew at that point in time there was a star in the making. So Larry had come to me and he introduced her parents to me and said, "Johnny, she needs a co-manager. Would you want to co-manage?" And I was like, "Yeah, would I sign?" And the rest is kind of history. So I think this particular tour, Britney finally gets to bring out all the bells and whistles and do exactly what she wants to do. The production is just tremendous. The number of costume changes are outrageous. The production numbers are all things that she thought of. So there's a lot of Britney in them. In the past, based on what our budgets were and time frames, we were very limited on certain things that we could do as far as the tour was concerned. But this tour was the sky's the limit, and she's given it all she really wanted and whatever she really wanted to do in a tour. I think Britney is going to, she dabbled a little bit into the movies, and I think that's where her heart is for the time being, to explore more into that. She's dedicated in being an overall rounded entertainer, not just, focused on one thing. And then after she probably does 1 or 2 movies, she's going to take some time and create an album the way she wants to. Again, in the album making process with Britney, it's always been about a deadline, so we've kind of rushed things. Now we're at that point where her fans are there, they're dedicated to her, they want another record, but they'll be there when she decides to put it out. So she's going to take her time and make the kind of record she really wants to make at the pace that she wants to make, and I'm in agreement with that. So, we've had a great run. I'm I'm so proud and privileged to have been a part of your family. I just want to continue to be a part of your family. I've watched you go from a little girl into a grown woman, and I'm so very proud of you, and I love you very much.
My name is Felicia, and I am Brittany's personal assistant. And while we're on tour, I just take care of the everyday details. And when we're touring with a show, I change her clothes under the stage, change out the mics, the battery packs. So I've never seen a show. Never. I know, that's hard to believe, right? I always change her clothes. I have from the very beginning. It started off just me in the dressing room when she was an opening act, to now it's myself, hair and makeup, Manuela, and Tanya, who is head of our wardrobe while we're on tour, and she helps change the clothes as well. But I'm in charge of the mics and the battery packs. I'm close to Brittany's mom's age, so I'm more like a big sister type figure. But I live about 20 minutes from my doorstep to her doorstep. So we got in the car with Lynn and this little girl. And she was dressed all in this cute little outfit. It almost looked like a little tuxedo outfit. And so her name was Britney. I said, "Hey, Britney." And so we were riding down, and we got closer, and I said, "What are you dressed like that for?" And she goes, "Well, I'm going to sing." And I'm thinking, oh, bless her little bones, going to sing at a little flea market. So we got there, and Lynn took out her lipstick, and she dotted it on Britney's cheeks and on her little lips. And she made little bitty circles, and they were all pink, and did her little lips all pink. And Lynn said, "You need some earrings. You don't have any earrings." And Brittany said, "I like hers." And I said, "All right, you can wear my earrings." And they were big girl earrings to her because they were dangly. So she wore my earrings, and she got on the stage, and the whole time I'm standing there thinking, oh, bless her little heart. And she opened her mouth, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing worrying about her? People started sitting on the grass, and the audience grew bigger. It was the neatest thing. And all of a sudden, this 30-year-old voice came out of this 8-year-old child. And I'm just mesmerized, and she gets off the stage, she grabs my hand, and she said, "Hey, will you go with me to find a baby doll?" I'm like, oh my gosh, this little kid. So Lynn and I remained friends, Jill and I remained friends, and Lynn and Jill would come visit, and we just got to be buddies. So I became a nanny in New York, moved to New York, and did that for 2 years. And on a Friday night, the family said, "We're going to have another baby." I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm 32 years old. If I raise their baby, I'll never be able to leave. So I told them on Saturday, let me sleep on it. And on Saturday, I said, "You know what, guys, I got to go. I'm going back to Mississippi, and I don't know what I'll do." Then on Sunday, the phone rang. It's low, and it's Lynn. She said, "Hey, Fee, what are you doing?" "Oh, nothing, just piddling around." She goes, "Well, listen, Brittany and I are going to be in the city tomorrow. Are you going to be there?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Let's go have dinner." I said, "Okay." So I met him for dinner in New York City. And before Lynn could even touch her food, she pushed her plate back. She said, "I have an ulterior motive." And I went, "Okay." And she said, "Brittany got a record deal today. I need somebody to travel with her." And I thought, well, I quit my job yesterday, so this is not a problem. And I said, "I'll do it for 3 months, Lynn." And she's like, "But she's a good kid." Brittany's in the bathroom at this point. I'm like, 3 months, Lynn, 3 months. She's 15. 3 months, I'll do it. And that was, 4 years and 9 months ago. So she is a good kid. She's a really good kid.
Thank you.
I got a question for you. What happens Sunday after you break everything down? Where does all this stuff go?
Well,
I always wonder about that. Like, I look at that big thing that they just did the rigging on for the bungee.
well, it
Does that look like
depends.
the Hard Rock
Depends
thing?
what is Britney's and what is other vendors. All the lights, all the sound, all the video equipment, all the pyro equipment, and the track itself that barge runs on,
Right.
all goes back to vendors. So we toured with 18 trucks. I had to bring down 2 generators, an extra sound truck, and an extra power truck. So we have 22 trucks down here right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those trucks returning will be Britney's equipment. And I'm going to put it in storage in LA, and we're going to throw a big tarp over it.
Right.
And 100 years from now, some archaeologist is going to go, "What the hell's all this stuff?" We'll strip it for the value of whatever parts we have. Her center elevator, the ribbon lift, some of the electronic stuff like that, I will give back to the company that built it. They'll try to resell it for us. But this stage is so unique, that there's no one else that could buy it from us without ripping off our show entirely.
Right.
Plus, with the whole water thing, all of the decks have pans and things. It's not even like they're standard decks that you could paint over and use for another stage. And because we made the stage round, you know, again, there's nothing worth it that's really salvageable. In fact, other than the value in the mind of, oh, this is her set, you'd be better off melting it down for scrap and taking the junk value on it. Yeah, you know, maybe you should get some furniture out of it or something, you know. But it's like anything, like office equipment. We've just amortized it over this last 2 legs, and it's a zero value as far as we're concerned. So, but it'll take me probably 2 to 3 weeks of cleanup to get everything back to where it's supposed to go. There were 6 towers. 1 fell over, and I deemed it unusable. Well, they were the only 6 towers in Japan. So they said to me, we're gonna manufacture a new tower. And I said, how long, blah, blah, blah. So when they manufactured it, I insisted that to make sure that all the welds were sufficient for the weight that we wanted to hold. And we got into this whole semantic issue of responsibility and signing off on it, things like that. So we went in at 8 a.m. to start lighting. We started lighting at 9:30 at night. We pushed the stage at 5:30 in the morning. We worked straight through. We did a rehearsal at 11 in the morning. We did a show at 6 o'clock at night. We loaded it all out and put it back in sea containers. I mean, I've been making a living in this business 18 years. I've never done anything like that. It was just the worst. I mean, there's the worst, and then there's the second worst, like down here. But amazingly, we still had a show.
You pulled it off.
It was,
and at Tell tonight, the biggest show you've played, right, on this tour?
well, Japan was about the same amount. This is 50,000. Yeah. We did Rock in Rio, which was 250,000. Right. Okay. But that wasn't her specific show. That was, you know, a compilation. So between these 2 nights, we'll do almost 100,000 people.
That's huge.
Huge.
Unbelievable.
Huge.